It's time for part two, top three songs from AC/DC. The album we left off at the end of part one was Power Age. So now we're going to get into Highway to Hell is the next record. And so we have Bon Scott on vocals, Angus and Malcolm Young, lead and rhythm guitar. Rhythm guitar is Malcolm. In comes Cliff Williams. He came in the sessions with the previous album, but Cliff Williams on bass. And then Bon wanted a bass player who could sing. And so here comes Cliff. And then Phil Rudd still on drums here. So let's get into, this is part two. So we're going to do four more records to get into this. So we have the 1979 release, Highway to Hell. I'm just going to tell you right now, this is my favorite record from AC/DC. I have dug it for many, many years, probably 20 plus years. Been listening to AC/DC for probably 30 years, 30 plus. And as much as I dig the top song on this record, Highway to Hell, I'm going to go different because this record has so many good songs. So the song I'm going to go with first is track number 4. This is Touch Too Much. It's one of my top 10 songs. I did a reggae with some friends a year or two ago, and this one just skyrocketed up my list. So I just love it. Bon, when he's singing, it's kind of like little bit sinister, I would say. It was one of those nights. Yeah, I can't sing, I know. Another track that he's singing about a lady, so that's definitely a theme with Bon Scott. Strong backing vocals from Malcolm and Cliff. And then I think the solo from Angus really matches this song really, really well. I like everything about it. I like the hooks, the groove, the drums, the bass, the vocals, the energy, you name it. Touch Too Much. Awesome song. Next song we're going to go with is track number 8 down here. If You Want Blood, You Got It. And so if you haven't seen the movie Empire Records, check it out. It's a funny movie. It's about a record store, and the store owner, he gets frustrated. He's got to go into his office, and to cool himself down, to decompress, he's got a drum kit in his office, and he puts on If You Want Blood, You Got It. And he starts drumming to it. Excellent film, awesome song, great energy. What it means to me is, look, you want a piece of this? Come and get it. So this is a track where you're not going to back down. The grooves are awesome. Drumming matches these groovy hooks, and really like it. And again, like the vocal that stands out to me is when Bon opens singing. It's criminal. It ought to be a law. Good stuff. If You Want Blood, You Got It. And then my third song from this record is we're just gonna change it up. We're gonna go track 10, Night Prowler. And I like this one from the time that I heard it as well, all these years ago when I was a young kid. And this album came probably via Columbia House Records, came in CD. And so I just dig it. It slows it down. It's different than the other songs, I think. And it is creepy, and it just gives me this scary movie vibe. This would be a song on a scary movie. I also know the lore, or the lore that people attached to the Night Stalker, who they thought that song inspired him, but that dude was nuts, and so you can't blame AC/DC because some guy was nuts and took a record out of touch. Tragically, Bon Scott dies, and I was just a baby at this time when this record comes out, and so their most successful album from the Bon Scott ages, he dies. I think he asphyxiated on his vomit, drinking in his car, if I'm remembering the story correctly. They got to find a new singer. In come Brian Johnson. And so here comes Back in Black, the first record with AC/DC, and you can see here 100 best albums. So what a way to start. Hard to come in off the success of Highway to Hell, and then here comes this Back in Black record. But this is one of the top selling hard rock albums of all time. It's kind of like the Black Album for Metallica for me. I've listened to this album so much. I really tried not to select the hits. The hits, Hell's Bells, Back in Black, Shook Me All Night Long, but I had a hard time. And the first song I'm going to go with, I just couldn't do it. Hell's Bells is too good. The way it opens with the bells. Again, this one could be horror film too, scary movie. The bells, then the guitar comes in. I just really liked how it builds. And then, like I said, got the guitar, and then the whole band comes in, and this is an awesome song. I never skip it. It's an all-time classic. They always play it when they're, performing live. Hell's Bells. Dynamite song. Next song I'm going to go with, and this one has been skyrocketing up my list for this record over the last few years. It's going to be track number 3, What You Do for Money, Honey. I think this has a good bounce to the song. Cliff and Phil are locked in, keeping that rhythm section. The chorus is really what convinced me. I just think the chorus is so catchy and grabs you. For the longest time, I thought they were singing Party, but they're actually singing Honey. So I actually found that quite a bit with the AC/DC lyrics. I think it's one thing, but it's something else. And then the other choice, rounding out my third choice in this record, they're not in any order. I'm just going in the order they are on the record. We're going to go Back in Black. I couldn't skip this one either. It's too awesome of a song. I think it's top shelf guitar work. Any sports team or anyone trying to overcome anything, have a resurgence, this is the song for you. Something just to get you pumped up, put your stamp on, like, here, I came to handle business. So love this song. Another concert staple and all-time classic. So top 3 songs from Back in Black. We're going to go Hell's Bells, What You Do for Money, Honey, and Back in Black. But there's so many songs. I don't think you could go wrong picking a song on this record. It's a wonderful, wonderful record. All right, so now we're going to get into the next record, the second record with Bon Scott, and that's going to be the 1981 release, For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. And, when you perform so high with Back in Black, it's hard to meet the expectations from that record. And this record's definitely not as good, but I got to tell you, my older brother was an AC/DC fan, and so I remember going to Tower Records, and this is one of the albums I bought him for Christmas, and I believe I also bought him Flick of the Switch, which is the next record. So some good memories to this. For this record, I'm going to go with the title track. That's track number 1, For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. This is their concert closer. They bring out the cannons, they fire. It's just a dynamite classic song. This one kind of is in the veins of Hell's Bells a little bit, where it builds. But yeah, just anybody who's rock and roll, this is their anthem to you. They're saluting everyone. You're part of the family, which I think is cool. Next song we're going to go with is COD, Call of the Devil. I think Brian Johnson's snarling in the mic when he sings this one to start. I dig the beat of it. The chorus has a good drive to the song. This is a song I turn up, especially when I'm out there driving. I think the solo fits well from Angus. It's not flashy, but it really just works with the song COD. And then my third song from this record is going to be the last one, Spellbound. It's one of the slower style album closers. So you have, before this record, Back in Black had Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, and then Highway to Hell had Night Prowler. So this one is kind of in that vein. I like the grit to it. It has this like sleazy rock type feel, and the solo from Angus is bluesy, which you mix blues, which IC does a lot. I think it's really, really excellent. And then one more record to close out this part 2 of AC/DC top 3 songs. We're going Flick of the Switch. Comes out 2 years later, 1983. A lot of people don't like this album cover, which I get. It's kind of cheesy. It looks like a drawing, but I still think it's cool. But they could have definitely put a little more meat on the bones and not make it look like somebody was, sketching it with pencil. But this is an underrated record. Not big hits on here, but I think the quality of the songs, this is a much better listen front to back than the previous album. So top 3 choices. Here we go. I'm going to go with Rising Power, track 1. I think it's an underrated track. Good, groovy to open it up. There's these bluesy riffs, and the bluesy rock riffs, that's really my jam. Dig them. And then the lyrics. Rising Power, or We Raise the Dead. Cool. That's powerful. Next track, we're going to go with this track number 3, Flick of the Switch. I really think this could have been a really cool concert track. Of all the live things I've listened to and owned, I don't think I've heard this song live. I'll need to do a deeper dive on that, but I think this is a good one. This might be my favorite song on this record. I think it's energetic. It has this cool rolling riff from Malcolm Young throughout it, which makes it stand out to me. And of course, it's going to have a good solo from Angus. And then there's like 3 songs I was trying to choose from: The House is on Fire, Bedlam in Belgium, and Guns for Hire. I ended up landing on Guns for Hire. I made that decision right before recording this. Strong opening from Angus, just a rockin' track. The chorus is catchy, the soul is groovy. And then you have the lyrics from Brian: I'm a real entertainer, mischief maker. I think that's cool. So some cool lyrics in there. The other thing I just wanted to point out from the record Highway to Hell, Back in Black, and this one, Flick of the Switch, on YouTube, they made a number of videos, but they're all in the same area, same setting for each record. The setting's different per record, but they made a bunch of them. So like, it's kind of cool to watch them just jamming out to the music. But that's going to wrap up part 2. I will work on getting part 3 out probably next weekend. All right, y'all. Take care.